Welcome back to today's episode. We have Dominic here with us today, special guest to talk about special wall texture.
Thanks for having me, Vivian. I'm from Performance Coatings. We are a textured painting company specializing in special effect painting, lime wash, lime plaster, everything else in between. Yeah.
How long have you been in this industry?
I've been in the industry for about 10 years. The company has been around since 1998. First few years, we did not do special effect painting. Started maybe around 2002, 2003. But there's still a good maybe 20 years of experience.
What made you want to join this industry?
Okay, first and foremost is a family business. I find it quite meaningful to be able to contribute to the business.
What's the inspiration behind it? Like just one day you wake up and then you start doing like
lime plaster, lime wash.
Not really. I think the company started out as a general painting company.
Oh.
Yeah. And then through some context, we were introduced to the suppliers of the special paint supplier in Italy. My boss went to Italy. He liked the products and decided, okay, let's get ourselves trained up and let's try to carve ourselves a niche. And 20 years on, I think it's become more mainstream. Definitely, you see in a lot of your own projects and other projects.
So what does Mr. PCI stands for?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so about 10 years ago when we set up our Instagram account, we were looking for a handle. Well, I was looking for a handle. Performance Coatings a bit too long. PCI was taken. Then I was just staring at this keychain that I had. I don't know whether you guys are old enough to have watched the Lego movie. So I had that main character. I think his name was Emmett. There's this builder. So that Lego movie, that movie is about, I think, building without constraints, having limitless possibilities, and then just attacking everything with energy and enthusiasm. So that struck me. And so while looking for that handle and that kind of marketing angle, I just put the MR in front of PCI and was not taken. And then we used that Lego piece for a few posts. Slowly, organically, it took off. And then now it's people know us as MR PCI instead of Performance Coatings.
So Dominic, as seen on the samples on the table, I'm sure these are not all of the samples you have.
Yeah.
So can you share a bit more of the different textures, colors, and designs that Mr. PCI have?
Okay, so we primarily use 11 different types of materials. I'm not going to name them all. And within those 11 types of materials, there are obviously different variations, different ways to manipulate each material. I would say 20 to 30 different types of textures can be derived from these 11 different materials. And within these 20 to 30 kind of variations, you have sub-variations within them. So you can choose different colors, you can choose to have a little bit more or less texture, different types of texture, different colors of groove lines, different widths. So really specific modifications can be made. So I don't really have a specific number of effects or finishes that we have. But if I had to put a number to it, I would say anywhere from 80 to 100 different kinds of finishes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically from start to the end, it's basically fully customizable.
Yes, it is.
That's good.
Yeah.
So can you share a bit more of what's popular design and what's the trend now?
I brought a few samples of the more trendy ones. I think this finish, the pinhole finish, I think we have done with Inside Out before.
Yeah.
I think this by far is the most popular finish. I think it's a natural stone finish.
Yeah.
And in this kind of neutral shade, I think it ties in with what has been trending for at least the whole of 2024. A lot of soft curves, a lot of muted neutrals, a bit back to nature, very yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
this one you can do in any colors?
Yes.
All the effects, you can do it in any colors?
As long from the Nippon Paint catalog?
Yes, so I think Nippon Paint catalog is just a common point of reference because most designers use it. It's a big brand in Singapore. Everyone should have a chart, but we could possibly use a Pantone chart. We could use, Ferro ball chart, deluxe chart, whatever. As long as we have a common point of reference, almost any color can be matched. I think this year we spent a lot of time trying to tweak to get that beige off-white color, which goes back to what is trending. I think that is still trending.
Yeah.
And I think it's for good reason. It's timeless, it's classic, you won't really tire of it.
How many coats do you, when you guys do on a normal,
wall?
Let's say a BTO wall?
Yeah.
Like how many coatings?
I think it depends on the finish. So let's say for the popular finish, the pinhole finish, right? Get primer, that's one, first coat. Second coat would be a texture, and then you get a protective clear coat. So 4. This is in an ideal scenario lah. 4 coats. That's the complete system. But it differs from finish to finish. So some you can do it 3, some you gotta do it in 5. So I would say 3 to maybe 5. Yeah, would be a good.
But that wouldn't make the wall like thicker or anything, right?
No, I think the kind of thickest finish we have, which is also a new finish. This, I think the build-up is maximum, I think about 4 mm. Yeah, so you just take off the board, and then I think that's about as thick as it gets. Yeah, so it wouldn't add too much. You don't have to reinforce the wall, if that's your question. Yeah, you don't have to reinforce the wall to put on any of our products. Yeah.
So I'm sure homeowners are also curious. What are your customization process?
Most customers, if they're interested, they would DM us, email us, and then we invite them to come down to our showroom, or if that is not very accessible for them, we will point them towards some of our more accessible commercial projects in shopping malls and all that. We've done a lot of cafes, commercial outlets, so they can go and take a look. If they like what they see, they can come down to our showroom, take a look at the range of finishes and colors. Then we'll discuss price, we'll discuss schedule, and if that all fits, then we will start customizing the sample for them in the color and the texture that they would like. It takes about maybe 3 to 5 days. Send it over to their site for site visit, then measure up the wall. And when it's time to install, usually it takes about maybe 3 to 4 days. And usually we come in at the end of the process. I think you all will know. So just want to avoid the touch-ups. Yeah.
So speaking of which, just now we mentioned about like these textures on the areas that we can apply.
Yeah.
So where can we apply these textures? Like wet areas, is it okay, or is it only we only can apply this on like dry areas, which is like living room, bedrooms, those kind?
Okay, so as for your first question was where can we apply this?
Yeah.
Almost anywhere with a smooth, flat and even surface. So ceilings and walls. We've done almost every room already. Living room, bedroom. Most commonly is living room TV feature wall and the bedroom bed head. I think that's where you want something a bit more aesthetic. Your second question was wet areas. Is it okay? So I would say the Travertino, the Marmarino and the Lime Wash, technically they're exterior grade materials. And then with a protective clear coat, I think it can be in a wet area, but I would not say it's 100% impregnable, stain-proof, fuss-free compared to your other options that you usually use. So there is still an element of vulnerability to it. But we have done it before in shower areas and on the exteriors of buildings before. But mostly dry areas, I would say. And if you really want to do in a toilet, I would recommend maybe a dry toilet, a guest toilet, or a powder room.
Like a powder
would probably
room.
be more appropriate and more sustainable over a long run.
Okay, so are all the coatings like eco-friendly or low VOC?
Yeah, so it really depends on the requirements of the project, but mainly the material that we use comes from Oikos Italy, and they pride themselves on being very environmentally friendly. Everything is water-based, formaldehyde free. Formaldehyde I think has been a big concern, especially this year, right? Especially with young families or parents with young kids, right? And the products do meet the leading European emissions kind of requirements. So I would say yes, it's non-toxic, it's environmentally friendly, safe to use even if if they've moved in and for whatever reason we need to do the wall up after they've moved in, it's perfectly safe. Like I did it before, I have young kids, it's fine.
Okay, so what's the preparation process from your end?
Preparation process, I think is to be aligned with the designer in terms of schedule and requirements. So one, we need a smooth, flat and even surface. With maybe a newer apartment, like a BTO or condo, new condo, I think that's easier to achieve. If it's like a resale unit, it's old, lots of things have been done, you need to remove and patch. That's not quite straightforward. And then there are other demands, there are other things to note, like adjoining carpentry, TV consoles, so need to silicone the edges nicely. Also finalize the carpentry and electrical work. The thing that we are quite wary about is the shifting of points.
Yeah.
So get that finalized first before we start work. If you tell me I have to shift it, then the touch-up is challenging. Yeah, I think good communication before that and coordination before that is important. Yeah, to make sure that the site is ready so we can do the best job that we can do for you guys.
So meaning when you all go in to start doing work, it will be like day one, you all be putting the first coat.
Yeah, primer.
Primer
So regardless
first.
of whether you put a primer already, we'll do our own primer, and then the base coat. Yeah, the first coat. So that will take about half a day. Second day will be a full day, regardless of the area. 50 square feet, 500 square feet, it's still the same process. Yeah, so second day will be a full day. We'll create the texture, we create a stencil, whatever the design is. Then the third day, we'll sand the edges, kind of touch up all the corners, and then we'll apply a protective clear coat on top of it. Yeah, so that's generally the process. Yeah.
So after the application and everything, and then homeowners move in and all. So usually homeowners will ask us like with this type of texture, like for example the rocky surface kind, or any other surface. How do they go about to maintain it? Because we cannot really, like you mentioned just now, we cannot really touch up.
Maybe if it's stained, and if you're aware of it, just quickly wipe it off. Don't give whatever the chance to kind of like seep in and kind of let it bite. Yeah, I mean it's something that's a bit harder, a bit thicker, will have a bit more resilience as well to like chips and all that.
So wipe with wet cloth, all those are okay?
Yeah, wet wipe is perfectly fine. Like a non-chemical, don't bleach it.
Okay.
Like a baby wipe is fine. Yeah. Maybe things like blue tack stains, you may need a, what do you call that? The lighter fluid to lift it up.
So homeowners can do this themselves?
They can. But you know, most of them, they come back to us.
So, what's the durability and longevity of these products?
We have 1 year limited warranty, but it doesn't just last 1 year. It'll last for years, at least 5 years. I have samples that's been left untouched for about 10 years. It's still the same. The color fastness of the products is pretty good. Yeah, but the homes or the spaces are like kind of living, dynamic, environments where things happen. Things happen. But I would say even after 5 years, which is your MOP, you just get scuffs, a bit of dirt here and there, and that's about it. You're not gonna have things peeling off and flaking off. So I would say that yeah, it is durable, it can last, but it is still a bit of a sensitive product. So yeah, pros and cons.
So just now you mentioned like after 5 years MOP. So if let's say the homeowner move out after 5 years, and then the new owners don't want this wall. So what can they do about it? Like, can they paint it over, or do they need to like scrape it over or plaster over?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it depends on the finish. So if you have something thick like this, definitely they need to skim coat over, right? If they wanted to reinstate to the original surface, they need to skim coat and then paint it over.
What is skim coat?
Skim coat, I think you could ask like the plasterboard guys.
Scrape it off.
Scrape it off. They use joint compound and they kind of just skim the surface. Right, to make it level, right? But if you have something like, I don't know, a lime wash, which is pretty trendy. Lime wash is made of mineral paint, which is very thin. This you can just paint over, right? You can paint over a primer and then you can slap on your wallpaper, your panels, whatever you want to do with it, or you paint it over. So the thinner the finish, basically the easier to reinstate. Yeah, but for something thicker, something with texture, you definitely have to skim coat it.
Can I hack it away, like scrape it away instead of like plaster over?
Yeah, I mean, there are two ways around it. You either scrape it down, or you skim over it, right? But the adhesion is good, so I feel like it's easier for you to skim coat over, because even if you scrape it down, you may damage the wall underneath, and then you have to end up skim coating it again. So that's double work lah.
So if let's say the next homeowner, they like the design of it, but they don't like the color, can they just paint it over?
Yes, it's possible to paint over, but to paint over with, let's say, normal emulsion, which usually has latex in it, we find that there's a very rubbery sheen and very flat sheen to it. So the purpose of doing texture paint is to have the look and the feel of the texture. So once you paint the normal paint over it, you don't even get the look and the feel of it. So it looks very flat. It looks very flat. And then you might
more like nom.
So but to each his own lah. I mean, I don't know, I just learned about 10 years that there's no such thing as a right design. There's only a design that's right for you. Even you as designers, you all have your own like philosophies, you all have your own preferences, but if the homeowners, like I want it this way, I prefer it this way, and that is the right way lah. It's possible.
But it's
We've
good
done
that
before.
when you mention Mr. PCI is able to customize to every homeowner's needs in terms of design, colors and texture. So it's not like just from your catalog or not from your showroom.
We have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you, Dominic, for joining us.
Thank you, Vivian. Thanks for having me.
We hope that you have learned something, and we'll see you at the next episode. Bye! Bye!
Sorry, can I just check which camera do we look at when we're doing the acapella?
We look at this camera, right? Okay. Get some insights!
Oh, from us.
So I've
可以讲咩？
Your boss, which is like your dad?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
但
He's,
是那个有钱的。
Okay. Should we end off with
Goodbye.
So I'll have to call you, Dominic.
number is nice.